Hart fans, we welcome you back to the 2024-25 Hart Women's Basketball Media Day. I'm your host, Hart correspondent Stephen Davis. Next up, we are excited to talk with the second-year head coach at William Penn, Joe McKinstry, as well as Alyssa Hames. Coach Alyssa, how's it going today?
Good.
We're good. Thank you.
All right, Coach, year two for you leading the program there at William Penn. What steps do you hope to see from your team from last year into this year?
Yeah, I think just that steps in the right direction, continuing to build. Certainly looking for improvement on kind of what we laid out last year as far as foundation wise on our expectations and what we're really trying to do with the program. And I've been fortunate enough to know that you need a lot of good fortune with building and with those steps and whatnot. And so, we need things like, we need this group to come together and really buy in, and we need to stay healthy. We need the ball to bounce our way a few times throughout the course of the season for sure. But, I just think, just definitely continuing to kind of put the program in the right direction and build on last year, but then we open up tomorrow. When we get into games 4 or 5, they need to look better than tomorrow does. And so, all the way down to like even those simple steps there of just continuing to, each and every time we get the opportunity to get on the floor, hopefully things can continue to move in the right direction.
Coach, take a moment, introduce us to Alyssa there next to you and what her role is in the program, what she means to you.
Yeah, Alyssa is she's basically kind of our third coach. Except she gets the luxury of being on the floor, and she's a fantastic player. She was a great piece for us last year. Quite honestly, I would say probably our most stable and consistent spot that we had within the program last year. And it really started from day one when I got here. I happen to have a liking for her style and the way she plays the game, her effort, her energy, things like that. And what she does, a lot of things naturally that are stuff that I look for in players. And so I think it was a good match, that aspect. But I also think, she's done a great job of kind of adjusting from, not only previous coaches, but her time at the junior college level as well. And just kind of figuring out, what it is that we're looking for and what we need. And I think this year heading into it, we've even had, brief discussions, but in practice or even in our scrimmages, of like, hey, this is the next part. Like, we need you to be more vocal and, kind of help the others kind of come along and let them know what we're looking for too. I know you know what it is, but, the next step is just, kind of taking on that leadership role and being confident with a little bit of vocal aspect of stuff. But she's so great at leading by example. Gives myself and my assistant, every opportunity to basically say, look, if you want to learn the way we want things done, watch Alyssa. That's how we do it. So, we're incredibly thankful and we're excited about this year. And, the biggest thing for me is just, I want this year for her to be what she deserves. And I can't really put into words what that is. But I want her to, certainly make the most of this opportunity. And I want it to be special to her, not only this season while she's living it, but, in the future to come too, and when her playing days are over.
All right, Alyssa, let's flip over to you and learn a little bit more about you. Where are you from and what's your major there at Penn?
I'm from Ackley, Iowa, super small town, a couple hours north of Oskaloosa, about 1,000 people. And my major is psychology and sports management.
What do you enjoy doing when you get a little bit of free time? I know between school and basketball, there's not much, but when you get some free time, what do you enjoy doing?
I like to read and I play my guitar often. And I also am really big in crocheting, kind of a grandma style free time, but it works.
That's quite a wide range there. Well, as Coach mentioned, game days are coming up fast. What are your favorite things about game day, whether it's a home game or a road game?
I definitely like to hang out with my friends in the locker room, teammates in the locker room before the game. We do some devotions, which is really nice, kind of settles the nerves, and also, just listening to music, jamming out, dancing, getting all the nerves out.
Very cool. Coach, with games coming up fast now and you jump into this and then Hart play right around the corner, what do you hope to see from your squad in these early games, the first two or three?
Yeah, I think for us, it's just basically are we implementing the things that we work on a daily basis, and are we trying to put ourselves in the best position to be able to have success with those things? We still very much are a work in progress right now. We've, quite honestly, and this falls on nobody else's shoulders than mine, but we've probably moved a little bit slower, just through our process of of whether it's offense, it's defense, it's special teams, inbounds, things like that. But I'm a big believer in, there's no sense in doing 5 or 6 things offensively if we don't do 1 or 2 of them very, very well. So, we've moved a little slow up to this point. And that's probably something that I've got to figure out as I keep going forward. I'm not used to having a conference schedule that starts, a week and a half, 2 weeks into the regular season, but I probably need to get us in a position where we can do a little bit more at that time. But we've been working really hard. Our energy is great. Our effort's fantastic. I do like our pieces. I think we've got some depth in some areas that we certainly needed to address from last year. And so, for us, it's just trying to put ourselves in position so that we can compete each night. And hopefully when the fourth quarter comes down to the last minute or two, we've got ourselves in a position to come out on top one way or the other. And so, that's really what we're looking for early on as we get going. And hopefully we can continue to build on that throughout the course of the season.
Coach, with games coming up, obviously a lot of stuff to get in to be ready to play in a game. What have been some key areas basketball wise that you focused on here during the preseason practices with your team?
Yeah, we've really focused on hopefully trying to put ourselves in a position to where maybe we're not necessarily one dimensional. Having multiple players throughout our roster play multiple positions, hold down multiple responsibilities as far as what they're able to do. We're trying to move pieces around. That's probably why we've kind of, in my mind, kind of gone slow as far as, putting ourselves ready. We're not just trying to specifically get the ball to one person each time we're up down the floor and have one person facilitate things. We're trying to move some pieces around so that maybe it's a little bit, if we do have matchup, advantages, we want to be able to take advantage of that. And the best way to be able to do that is to kind of put the defense in some situations where maybe they can't, use their strengths as frequently or as often. And so, we've been working on that a lot. And then the biggest thing is just us really understanding that in order for us to compete and to have a chance to win, we've got to be willing to work for that. And we can't just show up. I can't just show up as the coach. And I'm fortunate enough to have some history and some teams that have had success, but that has nothing to do with right now. Right now is we've got a group and we show up every day to work hard and practice, and we just need to understand that the practices are our preparation so that we can go out and execute those things in the games. And we need the experience. We need a few reps to get going in some competition so that we can build that confidence. But I'm excited and hopeful that our group is definitely going to be playing their best at the right time.
Alyssa, back over to you. What do you think is key to your team's success this year on the court?
Just working hard. We obviously Coach McKinstry is a great coach. He's given us all the tools we need. We need to take what we're learning in practice and implement it in a game, make sure it translates into the game. And I definitely think we're showing some of that progress between our first two scrimmages. And so I think we just need to keep that up. Whatever he's teaching us, whatever he wants us to do, we need to implement that into the games.
How do you feel like you've had to done stepping into a leadership role this season? What kinds of things have you maybe done that you weren't doing in the past?
Definitely like correcting my teammates, kind of getting on them when I need to, keeping the energy high. Usually that was a position done by people older than me last year, but now I'm the oldest and now it's my turn to take that responsibility, make sure we're staying on track, make sure we're doing the right things. And like I said, make sure we're implementing what we need to implement.
All right, Coach, we'll wrap it up. We've talked a lot about Alyssa. Drop a few more names on us of folks that you think could make a real impact for you this season.
Yeah, we've added a lot of new faces. We've also gotten some girls that we thought this time last year were going to be with us, and then ended up suffering injuries and didn't get a chance to get on the floor. So we're excited about our returners with Alyssa and Aisha Fagans and Asia Airwood and Amaria Turner. And their growth and being returners in year 2 and kind of understanding everything. And then you throw in Carly West and Shelby Clark, who both suffered injuries last year. I think, as much as we wish they'd have been on the floor for us last year, I do think being around and sitting and watching from a kind of a different perspective has helped. And so they've both been very good so far in our first month of practice. And so we're expecting a lot out of them. And then, we've got a kind of a mix of new faces, whether it be transfers from junior college, other 4-year institutions and even some high school kids that we expect, to kind of come in and make a splash early, even as a young player. And so, we're excited about the pieces that we have. Like I said, we know we need to stay healthy. That's unfortunately is something that we've got experience with, and so we aren't going to take that for granted. And but we've got to put ourselves in position so we can take advantage of the talent that we do have on the roster and then make the most of it.
Awesome. Coach Alyssa, thank you so much for the time today. Best of luck to William Penn this season.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.